Dixon. The win will go to Aaron Head. Shane Paris running 8. Oh, we got a spin. Down in 1. Out of 4. Win will go to Anthony Franklin. To the lead. Gustav spins. Green remains out. Leads him in the number 3 turn. Out of 4. He'll pick up the win. Sets a pick. Waterman's got a check up to go by him. And Persky will pick up the win.
For the invert, so basically don't hit each other.
He's gonna fall short. Paul Dienheiser, your winner.
Kimberly Abbott to the inside of Chevy Barnes looking for 3rd. Try to squeeze under the 27, a little bit of contact. Racing for the checkered flag. Your winner is gonna be Brandon Rue. Good battle for 2nd as well. Zog coming back on the outside. Howes and Zog have been exchanging that 2nd spot now for the last 20 laps. Coming around to pick up $5,000 in the Drive for 5 finale here tonight at the Lee County Speedway. It'll be the gas man, Caden Carter, making his move through the pack. He's looking for 2nd. Hang on, we got cars spinning. Bo left the bottom open, and that's not what you want to do. Who's your winner going to be? It will be John Oliver Jr. The white flag is getting set to come out, and we've got ourselves a close one to close out the evening. He's been around here at least as long as I have been. Cody Bowman. Oh, that's not a good way to start. He'll get the job done in the 26 car. And for Chris Martin, your winner tonight. Got a quick move up from the 3rd row. He's up to 2nd. Away the laps, 6 to go as Cook gets crossed up off 4. Going around to pick up the win. No surprise here tonight. It's going to be John Oliver. Oh, up and over Richardson hard. Fuller sideways in 1 and 2. Miller. Oh, look out, Douglas, don't go over, please. They're into the tire, and 3rd as Sturms is off the pace. Your feature winner is going to be Barry Tapp.
Oh, look out. Now Denning finds the door open. Up. And the checker flag for Blake Crebo. Oh, lots of problems. Throws the block off of turn 4 to win. Look out, Logan. Final time and another win. Off of turn 4. Not gonna get it done off of turn 4. It's RJ Gonzalez. Final time. First time since last year, Trey Grimm. Mo had it about 4 wide there for 3rd. Battle's going to be for 2nd. White flag for Waterman.
On the Speedway 4. Behind your top 3. Oh, Grayson Marquardt. We got trouble down in turn 1. The 4K of Cody Miles turned around and headed in the wrong direction. The car's waving. Who's it going to be?
And Bush is going to go around in a circle facing the wrong way. Comes Brunsheen on the outside. Is he going to make her hold? It will be Cameroon.
Bauer picks up the feature win.
Here he comes one final time around. Out of 3 and 4, it will be.
Take him into the first time. Look out. Jetty Andretti hard into turn 1. Well then, one more time. Get the monkey off my back, Eric Pollard.
Son of a bitch.
Mr. Dogburn?
What is it?
I'd like to talk to you a minute.
What is it?
They tell me you're a man with true grit.
What do you want, girl?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fastest podcast on the internet.
Welcome to True Grit. It's time to drop the hammer on another show. Show 20 of this 2021 season. I am your host, Shane Davis, a former IMCA Modified National Champion, and I've got my buddy Pat Moore here, along with Kelly, the big boss man. Kelly, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right, man. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
All right. You've been working too hard. I'm glad you had time for the show.
Yeah, well, we're starting to slow down here a little bit, so.
We're going to spend a little time with the boys, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Man, that's
Happy to be
great.
here. Looking forward to it.
Pat, how's your week been going? Been keeping busy on the racing season?
Always. Yep.
All right.
A lot of racing as we're kind of coming around, turn 4 on the racing season, but football's starting to get started. So is school. Racing season starts winding down, or at least moving for the national guys, moving
Sure.
to warmer climates. So we're kind of wrapping things up a little bit here locally.
All right. Hey, we're going to talk about Rocket Rob Tolan, not able to make it again tonight, still having some stuff going on. So, we thought it was best to move him to another date, and we'll talk about that later on. But tonight, I want to go over some of the results of local racing action here. Dubuque Speedway, Justin Kai picked up the late model feature win. Modified, Matt Ganson, Ryan Doom, and Timmy Current were the top 3 in Dubuque, Iowa. Sport Mod, Ryan Schilling picked up the win. Scott Bush was second. Grant Math third. And in the hobby stock, Brandon White picked up the win. Sport Compact was Josh Starr. And the American Iron Racing Series, I love that series, Doug Yates.
So cool.
Steve Johnson, former late model, modified great, now running in that American Iron Racing Series. And then David Crimmins rounded out the top 3. Now, Crimmins' brother ran for a lot of years in IMCA stock car. Crimmins is a white-collar worker. And yet, he loves racing. So he decided, hey, I'm going to go racing this year, and we're going to have some fun. And so he's, out there on the speedway having a good time.
That series is so cool.
Yeah, okay. East Moline Speedway last night, late model feature went to Andy Nesworski, one of our guests earlier in the season.
That's right. Shout out to the Nez.
Great win for Nez, yeah. Chuck Hanna, the number 65, rolled home second. Another great guy. Seen him over at Davenport over the weekend, but picked off the win second place run at East Moline Sunday night. Brandon Rothzin, one of those new names, finished third, and then the late model legend Gary Webb rolled home with a 4th place finish. Modified, it was Jeff Bone Larson, no stranger to victory lane, current leader in IMCA national points, and he'll be heading out to Boone, Iowa coming up. America's Racing Vacation. That's going to be Labor Day week. They started on Monday, race all week long, and they wrap it all up on Saturday night with a big show. So
he'll be a heavy hitter out there, without a doubt.
Oh, my God. Brandon Durbin come home second in Modifieds, and Andy Nesworski driving that number 85 Bouchon Motorsports car, rolled her home in 3rd place. And in sports mod, the Candyman, Jarrett Franzen, picked up the win. In the number 33 car, Jacob Copley, the number 55, rolls it home in 2nd, and longtime racing veteran David Engelkens in the number 65 comes home with a 3rd place run. Hobby stock, Andrew Burke picked up the win and doing double duty street stock. Burke come back, picked up the win in the street stock division. Mike Zemo Jr., he's just, been one tough guy to beat this year on Mod Lights, picked up the win in Mod Light. And then Sport Compact, it was our old buddy Kyle Hawkins in that beautiful purple racing machine of his. He also wrapped up the track championship with a win Sunday night at East Moline Speedway. And Kelly, I want to talk about that. I mean, one of your racetracks, you got 6 tracks out there, but East Moline Speedway being one of those, you've been up there all season long. Great track to watch a race at. There's not a bad seat in the house. And you have got one of those good seats with your camera.
Yeah. No, it's been great. They've, and you got to hand it to all the tracks that we work with. It's been a difficult year. We've gotten a lot of rain, and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, a lot of people like to complain about stuff, but I mean, I think for the circumstances, they've all done great, especially after last year where everything kind of got thrown up into a mix.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you got a guy like Jeff Peterson, the promoter up there. I think he's done a nice job. Track has really turned around. I mean, from Fahrenheit on, you've had a beautiful racetrack up there. He's tried hard. I mean, last year, you were up against the wall when the season starts out with COVID. Yeah. And, Peterson had his hands tied. There was
things he could do and not do since we were under COVID at that time. And, he's bounced back this year and really done a nice job. So I think onward and upward for East Moline Speedway and the Rock Island County Fairgrounds.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay. Pat, what's going on the national scene?
Well, the national scene, the Lucas Oil Late Model Series got rained out. You believe that? I could take a rubber stamp and just copy that each and every single week. Yeah. Actually, they were out in Pennsylvania, Port Royal Speedway. They got to run the Friday night program. Tim McCready brought home the Friday night $12,000 main at Port Royal. If you've never seen that track, it's a beautiful, big, fast racetrack. Jimmy Owens second and Turbo was third. Saturday night got rained out. They're looking at rescheduling that. On the World of Outlaw sprint car scene, Friday night they were at I-80 in Nebraska. Donnie Schatz took home the $10,000 win, and Sheldon Hunshield second, Carson Macedo third. Sunday in Rapid City, South Dakota, they swapped places. Little Hud won over Donnie Schatz and David Gravel. So fast guys up front pretty much everywhere we go. Knoxville wrapped up the weekly championship at Knoxville. In Knoxville, they run 3 classes. They run a kind of like a claim motor, what was the 305s. They run the 360 motors, and then they run the open 410s. And it was 2 of the 3 classes came down to the very last lap to decide the championship.
Wow.
So you have an entire season battling for the championships in all 3 classes.
Right.
Clint Garner finished third and stole the 360 Series championship away from Ryan Giles on the last lap, beat him by 1 position to take the championship. In the 410s, Brian Brown won the battle, but Davey Heskin actually won the war. Davey Heskin won his first track championship, did a phenomenal job. And Justin Henderson actually was leading coming in, got run over on the first lap, dashing his hopes. Gio Selzy, the drag racer's son, was running a TRD experimental motor and was leading until he broke an axle, unfortunately, and dropped out. So Brian Brown dropped off the World of Outlaw Tour and stayed home and won the main event, but did not get to win the championship. Davey Heskin won his first championship. Then there was some racing going on locally, too, as well.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Now, Kelly, all season long, we've done the weekly show at Davenport Speedway. We've had wonderful numbers. The fans have been great. The people supporting us watching on TV that can't get to the races over at Davenport Speedway, they've been great numbers. Yeah. And, I think one thing about Done Right TV is a lot of the shows I've been to. Now, I've announced for the Mars Racing Series. I've announced for a lot of the big touring series. And I was kind of surprised to see one camera at a particular show. But we do a little better than that, don't we, Kelly?
Well, we try to. We try to. And again, without the track's help, we wouldn't even have the opportunity. So we appreciate the opportunity. But and we're trying to just take it to the next level, And I know we're not going to get all the big shows.
Sure.
I know that. This is basically our first year,
right,
full season without COVID or whatever. But so I'm okay with that, But my game, I'm not worried about what everybody else does. I'm just trying to make what we do every day better.
And I'll tell you, we got the total package here. I mean, we've not only got the Done Right TV, which is all motorsports related for the most part. We go out and we do the garage interviews, and I mean, my God, the number's been great. Gary Webb, we went in his shop last year, 32,000 people watching that show. It amazed me. And then Pat Moore, we opened up. We had our initial show doing a walkthrough at your race shop, and we had 11,000 people watching, across America. I mean,
how about that?
Is that amazing?
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that number just blows me away. When I look at the other numbers, Kelly, that we have at the racetracks, we've done very well. We've not only got the main camera that's doing the video on the races, we've got that speed shot, and I really like that because, boy, with that camera that's set for the speed shot, you can see the cars ripping by at lightning speed.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about, we're going to get to Davenport Speedway and the show they had, but you have talked about buying a bucket truck. So,
well, yeah, I have. And,
right.
And we just started experimenting with the third camera.
Yeah.
We've got a wireless system now that we're trying out, and it's nice because we can literally put a camera pretty much anywhere now.
Yeah.
So we can actually move the speed shot around and
Sure.
maybe get a full view of the track or something like that.
Okay.
So, again, that's what I'm trying to do is and most of the tracks too, we've kind of wired up.
Yeah.
So the people coming in are going to have an advantage, I guess,
Right.
and that's just, I don't know, one of them things, I guess, that.
And Kelly, explain wired up. Now, we used to go, like I had a transmitter down where I was at, down the announcer's booth,
right.
and then the signal would go up to the base station, which is where you and the crew were at.
Well, 20 years I've been doing wired stuff, internet, TV, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And wireless is always okay and good. It works. But if you can get a wire, you're always better.
Sure.
It's always going to be a better connection.
Sure.
So, at Davenport, we ran an audio cable underneath the stands and underneath the track and up to where you're at because we were having some issues and we got batteries that we have to worry about once in a while. And I'm going to use the promoters for an example because we see what happened at the show for Davenport.
Sure.
These promoters, and even for what we do, and I'll get into that, but the promoters are faced with so many different angles and so many different things that that they have to deal with that nobody really knows.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what, Kelly? What reminds me of the promoters, I don't know if you ever used to watch the old Johnny Carson show, but they used to have a guy that'd be on there, and he had plates spinning, and he'd put them on sticks, and boy, all of a sudden he's got 20 plates spinning out there. And I think that describes a promoter's life. And I'll tell you, Kelly, at times I think it describes your life.
Without a
well,
doubt.
You got all these plates spinning.
And that's where I'm going with it. It's just that people don't see the behind the scenes, and I've been working with these guys for a little over a year now. And it's definitely a challenge, especially, and I'll tell you what, man, I see a lot of things coming through Facebook, and it's just, it never ends. It never ends for them because I see a lot of the things that come through for the other tracks and stuff like that. But the bottom line is they're all doing the best they can with the situation that that's presented. We're trying to keep the sport from dying, man.
Right,
because less people are going places, not necessarily dirt tracks. Less people are going to the mall.
Right.
Less people are going to dirt tracks. Less people are going on vacation. Less people are traveling. Less people are moving.
Kelly, I got a motorhome, and we parked it permanently. We used to go to the Daytona 500, Talladega. We would travel across America with my wife, and we had rising fuel costs, and we still got that fear of the COVID, and so we just decided, hey, we're staying at home. We're going to enjoy more stuff, at home. And then when I sit there watching people walk into the races, we have an aging fan base, and we got to find a way to stimulate the youngsters and get more of the youth, involved in racing. Whether that's in driving, whether it's in working for Kelly and helping on the camera. Whether it's in come to the races and watch them. We got to bust them loose from those cell phones and all that technology that we love and hate.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's also one of the reasons why I'm kind of the social media guy of the three of us. And if you guys are watching, that's one of the reasons why we always try to promote the social media. It's not always just patting us. We're trying to help all of racing. And I think that's one of the ways that we need to reach out to that next generation is if we're not out there on social media, we don't exist.
That's right.
While I'm on that topic, guys, we're with Kelly Jeffries, the head of Done Right TV. We're going to be talking about what he does and how it's going to impact all of racing. But while we're on that topic, please make sure that you like and share. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify after the fact. We're also on Twitch. If you're watching us on Facebook, please like and share. That helps a lot.
Share it to a friend.
Yeah, that's right. Share it to a friend that may not know about it. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, and it helps us all out. Not only does it help us, it also helps your local Saturday night or Friday night, Sunday night dirt track as well. So Kelly, help explain to everybody of what you do and how we're trying to bring that into the living room of the fans that wouldn't normally go out there and watch. And I know you and I have talked about it a little bit, like a family video. To kind of recap what we were just talking about, family video has gone belly up because people don't even go to the video store anymore, right? Which that's proof in the pudding right there that they're not leaving their houses, to rent a movie. So
times are changing, man. Yeah. It's like anything else, right? I mean, times change. My business has changed completely because I sell that stuff, right? I mean, I've been selling dish and and internet and you know that stuff for years. And it's hard for me to sell TVs. It's hard for me to sell a TV package even because everybody's watching TV different, and kids ain't going to buy TV.
Right.
They're just not. They're not going to buy it like we do. So, you know, I had to change things up. You know, and so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build the tracks and the presence of the track, right? Because I don't want to just throw it on TV, because I want people in the stands too, because that makes my stuff looks better.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
I'd love to next year. I got Lee County, we put a TV up, and I'd love to have TVs installed at all the tracks, so when people go get a beer, go to the bathroom or something, they can still see the production.
And I want to ask you about that, Kelly. Now over at Davenport Speedway, we got the shed.
Yeah.
So Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds made the investment. They built this beautiful, state-of-the-art bar in there.
Yeah. Right.
And so,
it's gorgeous.
Are you saying that we could potentially have racing on a TV in the shed? Some date in the future?
That was the plan, and that is already set up for that. And what we were going to do the later part of the season, once I got the TV installed, was to play last week's event.
Sure.
You know, after the show, because it takes us too much time to get it prepped and transferred to put it on the TV that night.
Right.
And it's probably some nights it's better to wait a week anyhow, because you don't want a couple drivers in there and have a few beers.
See, you did take me out.
I told you.
We agreed that the next week.
Yeah.
So that's the plan for next year, is to be able to have last week's show played for the drivers, so they can, they got a week to whatever.
All right.
We could go live, and maybe that's a plan. Like at Lee County, the TV is playing what we're doing.
What you're doing.
The live broadcast.
So if you go down for a beer or a pop or a bag of popcorn,
you won't miss a thing.
It's all right there.
Yeah, you'll be able to see the instant replays and stuff like that. So.
Now, you talked about Davenport Speedway. I want to get through that quickly. The show, we had a 3-day World Outlaw show there this past weekend, and it was an event. And I'm going to tell you, they put a lot of time and effort into it. Jeff Hoker, for all the Hoker-sponsored race cars, he had, a barbecue business come in and cater food for his drivers. Yeah. I thought, man, I'm going to go buy a late model and put Hoker on the side of that thing, just get a free meal. But, just Jeff and Penny Hoker, without people like that, we couldn't make it in racing.
Yeah.
They also had one of Hoker's trucks out in front of the grandstands.
That's right.
And we had Toys for Tots, Pat. And
That's right.
I made a swing by the toy store, and I bought a couple items. My wife said, pick up some stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
When we're talking about helping out kids, we look around. Pat, you live over in Betterdorf. Kelly, you're rich.
Yep.
Everybody's rich. I live in the west end of Rock Island, so we're talking about people I know. No, and so here's what we got. We got people that they can't enjoy the kind of Christmas that we take for granted. And so all these kids, on Christmas morning, we all wanted to have a toy underneath a tree. And so, our military service and Jeff Hoker and Penny Hoker got together, and boy, we about halfway filled that semi.
That's outstanding.
Full of toys. In 3 days from all the great race fans, drivers, crews, everybody brought in stuff, a lot of bicycles, a lot of board games, and just stuff all the kids are going to love. So that was one little component. We talked about all those plates spinning. They had 2-seater rides in the late model after the races. Now, they sold a lot of them.
That's great.
And what they did, they charged $100. Climbing that thing, they're going to take you around 5 laps. Justin Kai was driving it, 3-time IMCA late model national champion. That $100 went straight to
Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots.
That's outstanding.
And I'm
they
telling
looked
you,
like they were moving pretty good too.
They were. I'm going to tell you,
That's right.
It wasn't soft foot.
Old Justin had her cranked up. He was getting it on, man. And so they had that going on. They had a car show out there, so it was noon to 4 o'clock on Saturday.
Yep.
Come out and see the cool cars. They also had a bags tournament, and they ended up moving that bags tournament. They're going to have it out in an open space. They thought, you know what? It's a little warm out. We're going to put a roof over their heads, so they put it in the picnic shelter area. And, boy, we had a ton of people over there playing bags. We also had a history booth opened up, which covered the history of the Great Mississippi Valley Fair, the last 100 years. It's amazing. Races 100 years ago. Here we are 100 years later. We're still doing it.
It's crazy.
The whole history behind that. And, one of the things that was exciting for me, you're talking about at one time we had the existing grandstands that were built in 1920. We had bleachers on both ends of those. We had seating capacity for over 10,000 people. So this is how they did it. 10,000 people, the first 10,000 that walked through the gate, they paid to go watch the races. But anybody after 10,000, they got in free.
Yeah.
And
10,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in one season alone, they had 10 sellouts that year. So people were able to get in for free after the 10,000 and watch the races.
That's awesome.
Now, the
That is
crazy
incredible.
thing is, Pat, we talk about all the safety innovations that we've got out there in our race cars, but they've had them at the Speedway.
Right.
I mean, the people used to stand along the front stretch wall, and the cars are flying down the straightaway.
Yeah.
And, you could take out your whole fan base if you lost control on the front
yeah,
stretch.
there was a fence.
A fence.
Not a guardrail.
Chain
not
link
a wall.
fence.
A fence.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, a little pipe on top of it. So I'm like, man, I'm sitting at the top of the bleachers. I'm not down there. But, that was just some of the history, and we got a lot of positive response on that. Beyond that, we had all the vendors, probably had about 8-10 vendors from the Great Mississippi Valley Fair. They came in, they sold the foot-long hot dogs. They had the lemonade shake-ups. I mean,
right.
Pat,
Awesome.
talk about that stuff.
Oh yeah,
a lot
funnel
of great food.
cakes and there were T-shirt vendors. Giant semis of T-shirt vendors on both sides. You mentioned the Toys for Tots. They had food vendors. There were simulators. The slot cars were set up there for demos and rides. It was really truly an event. It was phenomenal. It was nice to see all of the extracurricular stuff that make the difference between making it a race, especially when you have so many people camping and coming in town and staying. They can stay and hang around on the concourse and enjoy extracurricular activities, not just racing. It really makes the racing even better.
While we're talking about the people like Hoker and Kais and stuff like that, Sean Loader has done an amazing job for that fairground. So he's definitely a class act.
Yep.
He's a big reason why stuff is changing around there.
Sure.
And the fairgrounds, the facilities itself had gotten kind of run down there for a while, and I tell you what, it is a place to be proud of now.
It
Front
really
to
is.
back, it's a place to be proud of, and I know, Kelly, you're helping also propagate that and bring that to people's living rooms. It's always nice to have people come to the racetrack, but I think the more that we get it in people's living rooms, the more you're going to get people that say, hey, you know what, we should get out. COVID's kind of starting to rest. Let's get out of the house and go do something.
Right.
Yeah. And it gives people an opportunity to take a night off where they don't have to go. You know,
Right.
Or somebody like think of like Maya, or Garrett that are running 6 hours away down at the Lake of the Ozarks.
All right.
It'd be nice for them to be able to be on TV.
Right.
Hey, Wookie, let's put up pick number 2 up there. B-Shep, Hot Time. Hey, thanks for tuning in there, Goosebox. And cheers to Wookie. I like that. Hey, you got a fan out there. There's old Brandon Shepard standing there right in front of that Valvoline number 1.
That's right.
The Rocket House car, Pat.
That's right.
Hot Time. Now, the old track record was set by Bobby Pierce earlier this year.
Yep.
It was 13.7. But man, old B-Shep blistered it, 13.588 seconds. So we'll give you a quick rundown here tonight. One of the Quad Cities 150 presented by Hoker Trucking is in the books, to say the least. The racing was intense. It didn't take long for the World Outlaw late models to ratchet up the intensity on the opening lap. The late model qualifying, Brandon Shepard set a new track record at 13.588. At the start of opening night's 40 lap, 10,000 win feature, Chris Madden and Devon Moran made up the front row. Moran led the first circuit, Madden led the second, and then Moran reeled off the next 38 laps to pick up the win. Bobby Pierce started fourth, ended up moving into second. Frank Heckeness, the number 99 car, ended up rolling into third. But Wookie, let's take a picture of Donnie Moran, the number 1.
Yeah. I tell you what,
up there.
When B-Shep went out for qualifying, it sounded like a sprint car guy.
It did.
He just barely, didn't even hardly let off, just kind of breathed it, and I could tell before he even came all the way around that he was going to be hot.
Now, here's the number 9 car, and what I'll say about that is a lot of you guys know the $1 Million Man before Earl Baltes passed away. He wanted to have a race for late models, paid $1 million to win.
Yep.
He got that $1 million, and the winner was Donnie Moran, number 99, the $1 Million Man. So what we had at Davenport Friday night was his son in the C&W Trucking number 9, Devon Moran.
And he started off the season hot in Florida.
Yeah.
He was leading the points, I think, if I remember right, when they were leaving Florida. So he's been, here we are, what's that, 9 months later almost?
Sure.
And, he's still continuing that role. I mean, he's really come into his own.
So let's talk about the IMCA Modifieds feature. Jordan Hicks, number 22, picks off the win opening night. Tim Ward, the number 4 TW from Arizona. The guy ends up moving to Iowa. He said in Arizona I can race rarely, but in Iowa I can run 7 days a week and never leave the great state of Iowa. So
That's right.
Iowa is heaven.
And we had a special guest that was also in town.
Yeah.
Kind of a high-profile guy.
Okay. And his name was Kenny Schrader.
Kenny Schrader, that's right. Former NASCAR star, USAC champion. Now he's out running dirt tracks and loving life, and we were glad to have him here in town racing with us.
Mitchell Morris, Team 70 out of McCausland, Iowa. Brand new Harris car this year. They got that thing tuned up. And boy, they're top 3 every night and fighting for a win. IMCA Sport Mod, great feature. Logan Velos, $750 for picking up the win. Jimmy Broskeet, second. Brandon Jewell, the number 99 ride, finishing third. Logan Velos, second generation driver. His dad Milo ran modifieds for a lot of years. Had a lot of success in UMP and IMCA. He's back behind the wheel and ended up riding, a brand new Rage car. And
boy, that thing's pretty.
Man, that thing is pretty.
That thing is pretty.
I always say, they're too pretty to race, but it was too pretty to race.
It's funny what will race when they look that pretty, right?
That's right. You got a picture of Bobby Pierce's car out there. Wookie, we'll throw up there on the screen. Just want to say for all the Bobby Pierce fans, Pierce ended up rolling home in second place. So
That's right.
$10,000 to win on Thursday night. And Pierce had a nice payday. I know his dad was clapping his hands when they dropped the checkered on that one. Now, we had World Outlaws flagman up there flagging the 3-day event. Did a wonderful job. His name's Eric. He's been with the Outlaws a lot of years, does a great job, and we were proud to have him at Davenport Speedway. Now, night number 2, we're going to roll on to Friday night. Night number 2 of 3. And here we go. I'm going to give you a quick rundown here. Night number 2 of the Quad Cities 150, presented by Hoker Trucking, was just as exciting as night 1. It was a great night for Brandon Shepard, his team, and the fans. Shepard started the 40-lap World Outlaw late model feature outside pole, quickly jumped into the lead. Bobby Pierce started directly behind Shepard and stayed in his tire tracks the entire race. Pierce was really able to close in on Brandon in traffic at one point in the race. Top 5 were running nose to tail, and Shepard would hold on to win the main. So, great run for him. Here's a rundown. Brandon Shepard with the win. Bobby Pierce rolled home second. Devon Moran, third place. Made a lot of money again Friday night. Jason Feger, fourth, the number 25 car. Chris Madden had a good weekend, finished fifth.
He did.
Kay Dillard, the number 96 or 97 car,
Yep.
finished sixth. Jimmy Mars, glad to see him out there, running seventh. Frank Heckenast.
That's right. Jimmy Mars has been hot lately.
Yeah. Nick Hoffman in the Team Zero ride ended up ninth. He's had some good runs at Davenport. Shannon Babb rounded out the top 10. So there we have it. And when we roll on to modifieds, Mike McKinney, a regular on the UMP tour, come up here, jump behind the wheel of an IMCA mod, and ended up picking off the win. Danny Eckrich rolled home second, the number 50. Tom Berry Jr., the defending IMCA modified national champion, another great name, all classes. He rolled home third, and he'll be one of the guys you can see out there at Super Nationals up in Boone, Iowa. And we got a pickup right now, Brandon Shepard. There is the podium. Now, for you race fans that are out there watching right now and you don't know the drivers, Bobby Pierce on the right, and the left, who do we got there, Pat?
That is Devon Moran.
All right.
That's right. Young generation. You know, and I think B-Shep's the oldest of the three of them, and he is 29, if I remember right. And Bobby's young, but an amazing talent, and Devon Moran obviously has really come into his own, and he's in his early mid-20s. So.
Now I want to tell you, Ryan Reed, sport mod feature that night, number 69, never won a race in his life. He sent his car back up to Harris. They tuned that thing up, and man, he had the race of his life. Ended up leading it all the way. 6 years in the sport, never won.
How about that?
Picks off the feature win. They're elated down in victory lane. They're going crazy. They get down there in tech, and guess what? He had an illegal shock on the right front of the car. It was a ball shock. For those of you race fans out there who don't know a ball shock, it's got a straight shaft on it, but when you get to the top, it's like got a big baseball on it. and it was it was funny. I mean, it's something that was going to be very obvious in TAC.
Right.
My heart really bleeds
See
for
it right
Ryan
there.
Reed. So he lost the win. Ben Chapman,
Ryan
the number 1 JR, come home with the win. Brandon Jewell was second. Logan Velos finished third. That was night number 2.
Yep.
And then we will get rid of that right there. And I think we're going to have night number 3
the
will
big
be
kahuna.
Yeah.
The big money payday.
All right, but first thing, let's pop up picture number 7. It's our Team Done Right car we got out there. One of the 2 cars on the Kenny Roberts Motorsports. There it is. Now, think of a caption for that right now, and thank you to Highside Photography for catching this string of pictures we're going to show you here. But right now, the picture initially before that, the car is facing upward. But they come into the turn about 4 wide, and Garrett Albertson's on the high side, the 59 car.
Yep.
Brand new car, only 4 nights on it, brand new black diamond car, and he got squeezed. And the car kind of looked like it hooked the cushion a little bit and took off airborne. And so this is the initial shot, and Wookie, if you want to scroll through that shot, we'll kind of talk about it.
That looks like a sprint car.
It does.
Yep.
I mean, my God, it was terrible. So
Yeah.
there was that would have actually been the second shot of him going airborne, and then we've got, there we go, upside down. And man, I don't know if you've ever been upside down a car. You kind of lose track of where you're at, but that's, the car's still not, it's flipping side by side. It's still not in bad shape. Go ahead and keep rolling through that, Wook. Right there now. What I like here, Kelly, great advertising. Look at that
there you
roof.
go.
Yeah, right. Look
Dish
at that.
Network.
Yeah.
That's what
People
it's
are
all
flipping
about.
over Dish.
He thought, hey,
There you go.
that's
I like
it.
that. I like
You
that.
might be able to use that in one of your ads.
Yeah, right.
So that wasn't done for Kelly, but people got to see the Dish Network on the roof. And keep on flipping forward in that.
And look at the nose on that thing, because you can look at the nose on all of them. You
Yeah.
can see a lot of that, because that's what he did say in one of the interviews, that he was getting blasted with mud.
Yep.
Blasted. And so you can
That's
see
amazing.
what the front end's crushed on the car, the nose flipped back out, it's rubber, but push a stub back to the firewall, and just major damage to the tail and the front of that car. And do we have any more, or is that it? Well, there we go. You can see the tires turn to the right when the car kind of flipped off the cushion. He's counter steering, but he was along with for the right at this point.
Yeah, and it's these cars are they're so jacked up when they're up on the bars that as soon as they dig in, man, the driver's along for the ride. Shout out to all of the safety gear, however, that all of the late model guys are wearing the full containment seats. It keeps them safe. It keeps them from flailing around or the seats bending and opening up, and it gives drivers the ability to have a crash like that and still get out and walk away and smile at the end of the day.
Now we got Terry Stock up there saying he's watching. Welcome, Terry. Also, Roger Heyman, sell advertising on the half-mile walls. You are
great
thinking
idea.
like we're thinking.
Yeah.
Here's what we did.
That's right.
Kelly and I talked about this earlier in the season. Pat, you and I talked about it. We said we got to have Davenport Speedway on that backstretch wall, so when
Yeah.
you're on TV, you know what track you're at.
That's
You know,
right.
they've got it at 34 Raceway and other tracks we go to. So the guys went out, and Sean Loader, I think they split the costs, and they had Davenport Speedway put down that backstretch wall. So that was phase 1. We've got that. Now when you're watching the
That's done now?
it's done.
I didn't
Yeah.
even see
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
we'll have pictures.
beautiful.
I'm sure that
Good
you
deal.
will see that
That's
now.
amazing.
And it's huge.
Yeah.
It really,
Like the
last
entire
week.
length of the back straightaway, the quarter mile,
yeah.
but it's on the half mile, so it's just back far enough that you can see it. It doesn't get dirty.
So Kelly, we do the
Nice.
Friday night shows. This one was done by
It was a Dirt Vision.
Dirt Vision.
That's right, Dirt Vision.
And so, I'm watching on the big screen down the infield, and they, it showed up very well on camera.
Yeah.
And a lot of the photographers, because of that, when they took pictures of the guys going down in the backstretch that they're going to sell, they took them as they were going by that
course.
Davenport Speedway, because naturally the guy goes, well, I don't know if I'm going to buy this B-Chef pick. Well, it was at Davenport Speedway. Now they know
right.
they want that pick. They were there that night, and they want to remember that special evening they had.
Absolutely.
So let's move on to night 3. Finally, we're on night 3 at Davenport Speedway. kind of funny. Saturday night, the track locked down. World Outlaws didn't want Ricky Kai to farm the track. Ricky's a farmer. He knows dirt. Dr. Al knows dirt. They arm wrestled. Ricky won. And so Saturday night for the big dance, 30,000 to win, they had Ricky out there farming the racetrack, and it made for the best late model show you'd ever seen. Everybody was on their feet the whole race.
Good.
They loved it. All of the emails, the text messages, everything I've got, the Kai family have got, they've all been positive. They loved that show. And most people said, hey, are we doing this next year? I mean, we had camping on site, and Pat and I, you plugged that all your a couple of weeks up before the show.
Yep.
They sold out of camping, and they had to open up more campsites, which were down the half-mile backstretch wall.
Yeah.
And, you know, people, hey, if you want electricity, you pay a little more for the electricity. You got the camping. And, you know, I had somebody that made a comment on one of the pics of Garrett flipping that they didn't think that was a real pic because there's no house in the background. What that was campers lined up all through that turn 1 and 2, and there was a row in front of that row, and there was a third row out there. So what looked like a house, maybe to that person who made the comment, it was actually a camper.
I think it was one of the buildings. But
that's all it was.
Yeah.
That's all it was. So
I guarantee that both Garrett and Mr. Roberts both would wish that was a fake.
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
Me too.
I guarantee that stuff hurts more than you guys realize. That hurts.
Here we go. Devon Moran took home the honors in the finality of the Quad Cities 150, presented by Jeff and Penny Hoker Trucking. The Dresden, Ohio native led 69 laps of the 70-lap World of Outlaw late model event. He also took home the winner's check for $30,000.
How about that?
Now, he won opening night. That was $10,000.
Yep.
$30,000. He had a podium finish. He walked out of that place with about $48,000.
That's right.
Now, Pat, why didn't we take a baseball bat or jump the guy? Or that's a lot of money.
That's a pretty good weekend.
Right.
It's a pretty good weekend. You know, I've tried taking into the bank a couple of these giant checks, and they look at me kind of odd. So.
Yeah. Hey, it's a check. It should
right.
work.
That's right.
Moran led the first 4 laps before allowing Brandon Shepard to lead lap 5. And then his next challenge would come from Bobby Pierce. Pierce tried a couple of slide jobs, those White Castle sliders on Moran. Each time Moran would cross him over, negating the pass. Moran's victory was his second in 3 days, having won the preliminary on Thursday. Twice the crowd was brought to his feet for cautions. The first was a red flag on lap 10 when Garrett Albertson rolled and flipped his car.
Yep.
We've already been through that. Tough break for him.
Glad
The
he's all
second
right, though.
caution had the crowd abuzz, and that was late in the race. Bobby Pierce's second slide job attempt allowed Chris Madden to pass Bobby for second, trying to get the spot back. Pierce and Madden made contact down turn 3. Madden spun. World Outlaws got a rule, and it's called the blend rule. Yeah.
Blend rule. Yeah.
So what happened was Madden spun, kept her going 360 back on the track. He came out in about 7th. They throw the caution. They leave Bobby Pierce in second place. Madden rejoined the pack in 7th place. And, man, he had a heck of a run. In fact, we'll run down the finishing order there.
And that beats the heck out of having to go all the way to the back because you got.
Let's show a picture of Chris Madden's car up there.
That was there's been a lot of controversy on the topic, and we're not going to pick sides. But
Stoney, thanks, Rick Stone.
But that was a kind of a tough racing deal. It's so hard to see in these cars,
right?
And it was just a tough racing deal in my opinion. Everybody has their own, and there was a lot of stones thrown at Bobby, and I know Madden was PO'd. I would have been PO'd, but hey, it's one of those racing deals.
So here we got Devon Moran picks up the win. Brian Shirley was second. I see Brian Shirley have a nice run, and then Boom Briggs in the 99B. Ended up third place. Very happy for him. Brandon Shepard, B-Shep, shuffled her back to 4th place. Bobby Pierce, after that contact, I think it kind of got in his head a little bit, and he ended up getting shuffled back to 5th, right in front of the 6th place finishing Chris Madden. So one of the things you didn't see on TV or on any of the replays, but the videos out there on the internet is, after that, Madden come in on that, must have been a checkered flag lap coming into turn 3, and they kind of did a little beating and banging, and they did it again in turn 1 after the flag. But, I would have been mad just like he was. So that's what I got to say about that. Now, I want to look at that picture, number 14. That would be Moran down at Victory Lane, and the guy standing next to it, look at that. That's the beautiful Penny Hoker on the right-hand side, and Jeff, you're a lucky man, Jeff Hoker on the left side with the winner's trophy, and then a couple of the Hoker Trucking people there on the left too. But
nice.
I mean, what a great, without people like Hoker Trucking,
Oh yeah,
sponsoring all the race cars he sponsors, sponsoring the race, serving his drivers. They had all the barbecue and all the great drinks, food, all that stuff they could handle. I mean, that's a great guy, and we're lucky to have Jeff.
without a doubt.
Right here in Iowa.
Yep, just right up the road.
Right up the road.
Right up the road.
Right.
Huge proponent of racing, and he brings more. And one of the nice things about that, and shout out to all the sponsors. Anytime as a race fan, anytime that you can help support and advocate for a sponsor of anybody at the track, whether it's your car or not, man, you should do that because they help propagate what we enjoy on a regular basis, and that's short track, dirt track racing. You know,
Old Gus Grip up there. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Gus. And you love the tap after the checkered flag. They got the crowd going. Yeah, they got kind of fired up again. After that. And Gus, I kind of liked it. He had built a 1/32 scale slot car, the number 97 Kate Dillard car.
Yep.
Took it down to pit area, and one of the guys that races with us in the wintertime, his son has just went in the military.
That's right.
So Cade autographed that number 97, said it looked great, and said when you talk to your son next, thank him for serving our country and our military, because without him, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now, and that's racing. So what a great guy, Cade Dillard. Hey, let's go on to the next pick. That's going to be the number 15. The great promoters at Davenport Speedway. Okay, we got the one right after that. Maybe. There we go. Ricky Kai is one on the right. He's a guy in the background. He's a farmer. The guy, he's not in it to get all the cameras on him. But he really makes that Speedway what it is. That guy went out and farmed the track before the feature. Once again, the old saying, Davenport never disappoints. Ricky, your history and what people think of you is intact. They love you. You do a wonderful job. He kind of got an arm wrestle match with World Outlaws. Ricky won. He's a farmer. He's strong. He's got arms like Kelly. And he went out there and farmed the track. And, old Devon Moran's all smiles. That check. Now, again, Pat, that $30,000 check, can you take that in your local bank?
Yeah, I would try.
Yeah.
I would try.
It's worth a try.
Without a doubt.
But want to give props to Jim Groves from Iowa, Illinois Taylor Insulation. Thank you,
right.
Rick. I want to remember that.
Yep.
He provided food for all of the drivers and crew Friday at Davenport Speedway. Now, Jim Groves, you need guys like him. Iowa, Illinois Taylor Insulation, been in business a lot of years. Jim's always been a big supporter of racing and sponsoring cars. Used to sponsor Brian Harris, the number 21H.
Right.
We had him on the show a week ago.
Yeah.
But thank you for reminding me of that.
And
Rick.
another thing about Ricky and the Kais, this is only their second year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only their second year.
Come on.
Right?
Yeah.
So, stay tuned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
Here we
look where
go.
We're at 2 years.
Just to kind of wrap this piece of it up, Jeff Ike come home with a win in the IMCA mod. We'll put that number 16 picture up there. And there is Jeff Ike right there with Team Hoker in victory lane. Now, you notice the back of the car is kind of hiked up. Checkered flag coming out of 4. He got together with Jim Sandusky, broke the ball joint, broke the upper control arm. And, he, of course, was very upset. He was putting Sandusky a lap down. Sandusky was a little unhappy. They tapped on the start at the beginning of the feature. But Ike, he'll be up there at Super Nationals, IMCA in Boone, Iowa. Check it out if you haven't been there. And Kelly, we got great news. You're going to be up there.
Yeah.
So you'll be up there. Now, Jeff Ike up there is one of the few guys. He's won on the same racing vacation. He went out and won the IMCA Modified Feature event, was crowned Super Nationals champion, come back and did it in his late model.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Hard to believe. And you're going to be running a camera up there, Kelly.
Well, I'm not sure. We're adding some more stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be working with another team and a few other teams, so I'm looking forward to it. It's another one of them little experience things that I get to check out, check the box and say that I've worked the Super Nash. So
there you go.
Pretty excited.
So to wrap this thing up now, Mitch Morris ended up second, the number 70 car. Mitch they got that car tuned up now. He had a third place Thursday night, Friday night. He had a good run Saturday. Here he is sitting in second. actually put a lot of pressure, got underneath Ike a couple of times. Ethan Braxma in the number 11, finished third. Caden Carter fourth, Shane DeVolder fifth. Now, I want to say this. Kenny Schrader again, start up front row.
Yeah.
And, man, he threw on the backup beepers and is really struggling with that backup car he's got. Then finally,
but I think that's also a testament to how
competition is good.
Our local IMCA modified and late model racing
best of the best.
That man, you come in here and it's like going in Knoxville and running against the Knoxville locals on a Saturday.
You're not going to roll in there and beat them just because you got a new car.
No. Yeah.
Hey,
right.
finally, one of the runs that made me real proud, Wook, let's put up that number 17. Another one of the Team Done Right cars made $1,500 for the win for his efforts. Jeff Ike got $2,000. Tyler Soppy, the number 3T.
Yeah.
He hurt that car probably about a month ago. They brought out a brand new race car, but he likes that car. They got it put back together, tuned up, and man, as we say, there it is, $1,500 for his efforts in that number 3T. And Tyler, another Done Right sponsored car. You see it on the front of the door, and he's doing a good job for you. Kelly?
Yeah,
when you
he
look
had
in the future,
a rough year, but he's always there.
He's always there, man.
He's had
always fast.
He's had some things happen, and
so what I gotta say, guys like him, wrecked a car, come back with a new car. Our show, True Grit, that's what it's all about.
That's right.
And
that's what it's all about.
Tyler, I want to get him on the show this year. We'll have to do a garage interview with him coming up this winter. But man, what a great guest and what a great effort. Just like Kenny Roberts, that team. I mean, that's what True Grit's all about. I mean, you roll the car, you put it back together, and you go race next weekend in Kentucky and down in Missouri.
Yeah, for what them guys are doing, they all have jobs. They all have full-time jobs, and they're playing in a place that it's all full-time drivers and teams.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
they're playing with the big boys.
That's insane. I mean, that's amazing, and the drive and the teamwork and the stuff that they got it's amazing.
Yeah.
And the hours, and most people don't realize the extra hours that when you get off work at 5 o'clock and then you go to a job that's a job. Racing is another 4 hours a day minimum. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, and they're driving a lot more now too. Doing the big running with the big boys. They're not going to Dubuque and Davenport and they're going 4-6 hours away sometimes.
Yeah.
But,
so Kelly, let's get back to you. We've got some time left in the show. Thanks for coming on tonight and spending some time with your crew. One of the other items you added this year that I really liked and we got to see on TV, what was that thing you were flying around and you had a camera in it?
Yeah, little drone. We got a
drones,
little drone
man.
action. Yeah,
we had 2 of them.
Yeah, had to crashed a couple of them. They're both back running again, and again, that's I coming in. I always have stuff like way out there that we want to do, and but hey, I did some, not as much as I wanted to. I wanted to do some more live drone stuff this year. But hey, I think we had a pretty successful year with the tracks that we had, and we made improvements every year, and it wasn't it wasn't easy. We stumbled too, and I started the season with just me basically,
right.
So,
you said to me, hey, we need cameramen, and we went on the hunt.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, we hit the lottery.
We did.
Now, Gary, who works for you, I mean, that guy is, I can't believe that that guy was out there retired and just kind of enjoying life. Yeah. And that guy comes along, and he's a real system-oriented guy.
Yes, he is.
So everything's very organized and very system oriented.
Opposites attract, right? I mean, because I am not that guy.
And Kelly, and I mean, my God, and here's one thing I'll say about you, Kelly, is you're the eternal optimist. Whenever Pat and I have come to you or any of the other team and we've said, hey, let's try this, you said, hey, great, let's go for it. What do we got to do to make it happen? You're not beating us into the ground, and I'm just blessed to be part of your team and be part of the the upbeat, attitude we've got over here.
Well, and likewise, I mean, right back at you guys. And I did. I lucked out. I mean, Josh, Wilk, Sonny. Yeah. Sonny came back early. He is always a good help. And Gary, and even some of the other ones that didn't really work out, man, because everything is a blessing or a lesson.
Right.
And, and I'm not. Again, man, I just try to do better every day.
Yeah.
But
And we're really fortunate. And back to the drone thing, circle back to the drone. You're doing things on a local level, and so places like Davenport and Dubuque and Donaldson are able to have some of the technology and advancements that you only see in the big scale, like the World of Outlaws and stuff like that.
And Shane said it best. I mean, there was another team that came in and did a show earlier in the year with one camera, and I'm like, dude, I'm doing 3 for weekly shows.
Right.
And we're doing
event.
live scoring now too.
Absolutely.
And that was a special event. And you come with one camera, and basically, sorry, but I had everything kind of wired up for you, so your speed shot was already wired. It was it was right there. Just plug it in.
That's right.
And like you said, they come in, they don't have the equipment we've got, and we've done some big shows.
That's right.
Lucas Oil MLRA shows, and we really received a lot of accolades. In fact, I got. I've saved some of the kudos from people that sent us. Just said, man, wonderful show. We're talking about people across America: Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Missouri, Minnesota, Michigan, California, Texas, and even Germany. And they were all tuned in, watching on Done Right TV.
Yeah. Well, and we lost a couple of the bigger shows this year, and Kevin, I think, asked earlier. We're not doing the Yankee this year.
Right.
Last year was a different ball game. We helped some people out, and this year, some of the bigger guys came in, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Honestly, but hey, I'm just gonna say it, man. That my game is going to continue to improve whatever anybody does. If I'm losing shows, you better bring your A game,
right?
Because if you're not going to get away with it with one camera, because every other show we're going to be doing is going to be, hopefully we'll be doing 3 cameras every show.
We had that out-of-town outfit come in, and they got, 3 or 4 of the big shows. They were throwing big money on the ground, and literally buying the shows. And then when they found out that they didn't have their math adding up to where it was profitable, for them, they left town. Hey, we're still here, Kelly.
Yeah, and I'm not going anywhere. And I mean, I will go places, and I'm going to change things up again, because it's not about me. I'm trying to help the tracks,
right?
And if everything, I've got a lot of stuff written down, and we're gonna make some changes next year. But if everything goes my way, we're gonna double the amount of tracks, and we're gonna make it a lot easier for the track to promote themselves.
Yeah, and we've talked about that, Kelly, and they're all good ideas, and these are things we're not ready to roll out to the general public, but they're all, want to let you know the way we're just not sitting out, resting on our accolades. We are going over a lot of things we're going to do next year different for this show, for the Done Right group outside. And we've got this beautiful studio. Kelly, you gave us a studio that is second to none.
That's right.
And, we've got, these beautiful big screens in here, top-of-the-line equipment, the mics and everything. And, I had a lot of guests, they walked in this year, and they just said, oh, my God, I've been on other shows, but, well, you guys really do it right. And I said, well, that's why we're called Done Right.
Well, and we've had a number of guests that we wanted to have on the show that we tried to schedule on the show that just didn't work out. A lot of the national traveling guys that we couldn't get in on a Monday because of that, because – and we're proud of what we have, and we want to. They've seen bits or snippets of the show. They're impressed by it, and so your reputation is continuing to grow. And
thank you guys for everything, because I couldn't have done it without any of you guys.
Yeah.
And believe me, the studio just kind of fell. It kind of fell together, because I mean it was it's a home theater for a minute, but. When everything started changing, and I mean, there's 100 different stories that lead me to today, and what we did, but it's just it's hard to believe. I look back on it, I'm like, how in the hell am I running a broadcasting company?
Right.
Because I'm like, people ask me, and I'm like, I don't know how I did it. I just don't. I just kept putting one foot in front of the other.
That's right.
And figured out as we go, but that's something if and I've got to be careful, because if it's not constructive, then I could do the same thing in a self-destruct mode too, because that's just how I work. If I'm not focused on something, then I get mixed up. But we didn't get as much done as, and I had to cancel a few shows,
Right.
and, oh, God, that is brutal, I'll tell you, because, wow, I'm not good at that. I am not good at missing. But,
yeah. You know what? We had to do that, Kelly. We didn't have the staffing at that point, and it's a good problem to have.
Staff-driven.
You've got not to have enough staffing. We got people in. We trained them. Again, my hat goes off to Gary and the training program he put together.
Without a doubt.
And so, you're better off just to say, hey, let's come back when we can do a better job. And we're going to have to skip this first
and
one.
now we've got something. Because we've got some SOPs and stuff that Gary and Wilk have been working on. So it makes a huge difference when I'm trying to show somebody something.
Yeah.
When there's a book that comes along with it.
Right.
And even like the guys at Speed Sport and the people that we work with on a daily basis for the broadcast. Sure. Again, man, I've got great support, man. That's 100% what it is.
Right.
And I'm not scared to step out, I guess, because and the feedback and I'm not afraid of failing because I do it all the time. That's one of the best things that I do.
That's just another step towards success.
But how do you know unless you
got to take the
get
step.
your foot wet, right?
It's a little scary, but hey.
Yeah, but man, it beats laying on the couch.
Oh my God, aren't you telling the truth?
I
used to, I'd tell all the salespeople. I used to be VP of sales, and I'd talk to a lot of people and a lot of new reps out there in the field. Now he said that there's activity versus productivity, and productivity. You're actually out there making money for the company, making strides forward, and activity. If you're just sitting there, shuffling a lot of papers on your desk, and you never really go off and try to make something happen, you're just shuffling papers, stay home on your couch.
And again, it's just the way that it happened because, the TV thing has been going a little bit down. I've been doing that for 20 years.
Sure.
So
that's
TV
amazing.
thing.
And you left Alcoa.
I left Alcoa,
Okay. You would have been retired by now, Kelly. I don't know if you ever thought about that.
All that, but yeah, you're right.
So I'm glad you left Alcoa.
Yeah, me too. And that's a good thing.
Sure. Hey, you know what? The studio, too. We're going to change it up. It was, originally going to be a home theater. Now it's, our racing studio and our studio that'll be utilized here with Done Right TV. So a lot of the posters you see hanging on the wall, a lot of the awards that we've won here, at Done Right, they'll go away. We've got a bunch of die casts that we're going to get put up and in display cases. A lot of the stuff we've already got. We're going to make it more look like a racing room. That'll all be for 2022.
Yep.
But we're going to be out there this winter. We're going to do those garage shots. Gary Webb, we talked about him. 32,000 people, watching that, Kelly. Yep. And, it was just amazing. His son on GaryWebbRacing.com, put together a nice video tribute to his dad. Yep. And they're at over 70,000 hits on that thing.
That's impressive.
We've averaged throughout the season this year 6,000 hits on each show we've done. Ray Gus Jr. We had very strong numbers. We talked to Gary Webb about what Ray's numbers were, and Gary said, the guy's retired and I'm still competing against him. But guess what? Gary ended up inching by him and beat him by about 400 viewers. And then Brian Burkhofer comes in and just kind of blows the roof off the studio. So, we've had a lot of steps forward. We've had, a few steps back. We had, 2 cancellations that couldn't be avoided. And so we had to quickly, gather new pictures and head new direction. But we did it. We've done our 20th show tonight, Kelly. Does it seem like 20 shows?
I don't know how many events we did this year either. I know we did over 100 last year. Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah, it's just I'm just happy to be doing something. I mean, I love doing it. It's not easy by any means because it's all the cost is it's very expensive.
Just astronomical. For you to go out and buy all these cameras and all the equipment we got.
I mean, it's
Kelly.
Probably, I don't know, 25, 30
You don't want to know.
Yeah, I mean,
don't think about it.
Too much. Yeah. But, I don't know, man. It's just something that I can sink my teeth into and something I don't know that I can figure out.
Well, you're doing an excellent job of bringing the sport that we all love to everybody's living room. So kudos on that. I know the regular season's winding down. Most places ended this last week. Kelly, do you have any other big shows still on tap for 2021 before the season completely wraps up?
We've got a few shows. We got some shows coming up in Rock Island, at East Moline. We got I think there's I don't want to mix it all up, but I know there's a Gary Webb one coming up in a couple of weeks, and then there's another Memorial one coming up this weekend.
Yeah,
with Keith Bloom and a couple other drivers that I didn't really know.
Ron Marks Jr. was one of them.
Yeah,
there were 3 drivers, I believe, that ran that.
So I'm going to get involved in that a little bit because Keith is one of the guys that got me into this. He's the first guy that ever asked me to sponsor his car. So
oh my God, what a great guy!
Yeah.
So that whole Bloom family, top
and
notch.
the pit bull man, because I remember him. He called me one time and he's like, "Hey, you got to come help me steal this dog." And I'm like, "What, Keith? Come on, you've lost it." And but there was a dog that was tied up, and it was stupid hot out, and so we all know how that went. But we're not going to talk about the end of
love
that.
It.
Yeah,
but the dog is good, and it's with a good friend.
Hey, it was like the cops come up to me. I think it was Saturday night, and they said, "Hey, you got to call this number here." There was they give me a license number, a vehicle description out in the parking lot, blue vehicle, SUV. Here's the plate number, and there is a dog inside with the windows rolled up.
No way.
And we're going to break out the windows if you don't get out to this vehicle in 5 minutes. And I said, my God, the heat index must have been 106. And so, in the car, it must have been 120. And they could tell that the dog was very stressed and wanting water, food. And thank God, the guy made it out. They didn't have to beat the windows out. But what are people thinking? Come on, man.
I understand that.
I love my animals. I've got cats and dogs both.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So back to the is there anything that you guys can share to kind of tease? This is a kind of wrap up of our True Grit season. Looking towards 2022, is there anything that you can share with everybody that you're going to be working on? Anything that you're going to be rolling out? Are you going to?
I'm not going to put that much out there just because it's probably going to change.
Sure.
But there's going to be more.
Yeah.
And I'd like to add a few tracks. I would like to. We haven't done any sponsorship or anything like that. I'd like to get more people involved, so so we can put on a better show.
Sure.
And I can tell you, next year there'll be other options to buy.
Sure.
So this year we really didn't have a choice because we work with the different tracks, and every track gets a cut of what we do. So I can't really put a 5-track package because then there's no money left on the there's no meat left on the bone. The cost, just the production cost alone, we won't get into the total cost, but it's upwards of 40% of the cost of putting on a production. That's just the internet.
What's your internet cost a month, Kelly?
My internet's over $700 a month just for my track internet.
Just for your track internet. I mean, come on, man.
I've got $3,000 cameras. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. But so we've made a little money, but I mean, everything is going right back into here. And it was tough losing a couple of the big shows this year. I mean, no doubt about it. We picked up a couple too.
Sure.
But again, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna pay my dues. It's my But like I said, I'm also gonna. The pressure's on because it's not even for anybody else. It's my own thing. I mean, I'm not competing against anybody. I just got if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be good.
You're doing an excellent job, and you're a true credit to the sports.
Yeah, well, thank you.
From all of us, thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, and thank you guys, and thank my team. And my team was amazing. My Done Right team, my
Misty.
Old school team, Misty, and my techs, and my mom and my family, all the drivers. I mean, it just goes on and on. I'm just grateful beyond words that, I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't have this, honestly, because the TV thing, I'd be installing security cameras and stuff like that. But this is way funner than that. And when I left Alcoa, and again, there's 100 different stories with this, but I left Alcoa. Basically, they come into the break room one night. I was on break, and I said, "We're offering a buyout. We're going to either be able to lay off or a buyout." And paperwork, is upstairs, and I'm like, "I'll take the buyout." And it was November, and I think I got 15 grand or something like that is what I got.
Sure.
And that was like in November.
Yeah. Okay.
And then by February, I had like $2,500 in my, in the bank.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, holy shit, what am I going to do? So I got a newspaper, and this is back in 2000.
Okay.
And you know what I seen in the newspaper, $7.58 an hour. I was making, I don't know, $22, $24 an hour.
Right.
You know, and I was like, oh my God, because I didn't look. I just said, I'll take it.
Sure.
I had no idea what I was going to do.
Jeez.
And then somehow I started doing satellite dish, and I happened to work for the worst guy in town, so that's where Done Right came from.
Good.
And so then it just kind of carried on.
All right. Well, hey, Pat, we're about ready to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're getting to the end of the show. Any closing remarks for 2021?
It's been a great season. A lot's changed. We're always working on improving what we do. I know we have a lot of things that we're looking forward to in 2022. If you're watching this either live or on Memorex,
Thank you, Ed.
please make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be doing some, as the guys have mentioned, some walkthroughs and garage visits throughout the off season.
Sure.
This is kind of the wrap up of our regular season. Also, please make sure that you like and share. That helps us out more than people realize. Please make sure that you like and share this video and subscribe so that you're kept apprised of any new videos that we have coming out. And I tell you what, it's been a great season, guys. I look forward to continuing to improve and looking forward to 2022.
All right, man. Yeah, I want to thank all the fans out there, at the racetracks and listen to our show. I got laryngitis about 3 weeks ago, it was. And I'm going to tell you what, I've never had laryngitis. I'm 62 years old. I got a lot of emails, a lot of text messages. They told me, drink apple cider vinegar, but it's got to have mothers in it. So I started drinking that. Rick Eshelman from World Outlaws says, oh, Shane, he said, you got to drink pineapple juice. So I started drinking pineapple juice. Another guy told me you got to eat red beets. Red beets got iron in it, and they've got this and that, and it's so I started eating red beets, and I'll tell you, I won't go into a lot of details, but when you eat a lot of red beets, it turns things red. So, I was ready to call the doctor then and say, man, take me to the hospital.
It's like I have a couple of St. Patrick's Day stories that are kind of like that.
Yeah. So, I did everything they told me. I went to my doctor twice. In fact, I'm going to see him again Wednesday. And he had me taking pills initially, and then he said, well, go ahead and spray your throat, and here's a new pill. And then he says to me, when I'm going in to see him this Wednesday it'll be, Shane, you're probably just going to have to rest your voice and you'll get it back. And I said, this would have been nice to know like 3 weeks ago.
You wouldn't have listened.
But I wouldn't have listened. No, you know what? I love racing. I'm so thankful that all the promoters out there and the Kai family said, hey, Shane, keep going. Thankful to Kelly. I sounded terrible when I apologize to fans, but I'm going to tell you, I love racing. My heart's in it. If God gave me a magic wand tonight and said, Shane, do whatever you want to do, I'd keep doing what I'm doing right now. I mean, racing is where my heart's at. I love it. My heart and soul's in it. And, I'm blessed to have Kelly and Pat in my life, the Kai family in my life, and all the people that, I work with in the racing community. So thanks, Goosebox. Ed Roberts, thank you for the kind words. Kevin Schroeder, Mark. Tim Hazen, man. Remember watching you race at Hawkeye Raceway in Bluegrass, Iowa. Stoney, one of the old crew members on the number 7 national championship team. Grip, you race with us. On down the line, all the people who have watched the show throughout the year. Roger Heyman, friends on Facebook. We couldn't do it without you guys, and I'm very thankful. And
I'll go ahead and throw that question that Pat said too to the fans and to our guests and the people that are watching the show and watching the races.
Right.
What do you want to see? Because we want to hear from you.
We want to hear.
And even if it's something. We like complaints too, man. Honestly, because anything that can make us better.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm cool with it, and I'll
Always
never always take the criticism. Anybody's going to tell me what to do? Seriously?
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
All right. Well, God bless all you great race fans. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Pat. And we're wrapping up 2021, our 20th show today, and. Watch us do a lot of Facebook Live. We're going to be doing some garage interviews out there and doing a few other things that I think you'll like. So God bless. We'll be seeing you around the track, and good night.
Thanks, everybody.